So welcome to 45B Governance and Funding Calls. This is a quick check-in to look into current governance actions. And we also wanted to start looking into the Treasury Funding Impact Assessment Initiative started by Christina. On screen we have already bit what we've shared on previous calls, whether from 45B side and the open discussions we've had. There's some logs here of previous calls that I'm still enriching a bit, but you can see from this one, for example, that we start looking into what governance actions are being voted at each call, at each stage. We try to do one each epoch. And today we're going to start with exactly that, because today was supposed to be a quick just check-in. Actually, the last one we did is an X space, and we're going to experiment with that as well eventually, more often. So looking at governance actions that are currently on chain, we usually use these tools. Just going to open a few of them to see things from different angles. But I don't think we have any new governance actions from last time we met, which was Monday. Okay, this is new. And the rest, we've already discussed them. You could look into this one a bit further. I'm just going to create a section here for today's check-in. So this is Epoch 618. And I'm just going to capture this. For reference. I think, yeah, I'm just going to copy this one from here. By the way, we also have James on the call. He's just multitasking, and we have Daniel. Thanks for joining. Keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. I'll be here.
I am almost done.
No worries. Okay. So on this one, I'm not seeing content. Maybe they're down or something. So I'm just going to collapse it or close it. And here we have different view of the governance actions on Mark's tool. So you can see clearly there's a new one. That's why I like this timeline view. I think we didn't catch this one either on the previous call. So I'm going to have a quick look at them. DeFi liquidity. Yeah, this is still very, very early. Okay. Let's look at this one on the next call that we have on Monday. We're going to be here again. We have time for that. And coming back here, there's also the Draper Dragon one. I'm actually going to see the detail on this side because it's easier for me. I don't think this one was expected to come up. I'm not sure if they had announced to put them.
What do you mean by Pedro expected to come up?
I'm not sure if this was announced and shared with the community that they were going to be putting a governance action for this.
Oh yeah, they did.
It was. It's
Yeah.
been since November, I think, or something. It's just maybe they were
Okay.
more hands-on with like community events and stuff like that instead of being on Twitter, which it's probably good, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Welcome, V.
Thank you.
They'll
So yeah,
also be socializing on next Wednesday, I believe, on Cardano over Coffee too as well. So
great stuff. Great stuff. Just want to make sure we got both of them. Yeah, so the DeFi liquidity, we have them both here. We can cover them and look in detail next Monday when we have the next call for Epoch 619. But since I have you guys here, maybe let's jump into what brought you here, right? So just like you can see on the board, we've been doing this, have been doing this since late January from 45B, facilitate some space to discuss from different angles around governance on Cardano, whether it's from like governance education, best practices and standards. It's sort of like a mix between the education and standards side with the tooling, governance tooling side that I also started when I was in the open source committee. So here we do reviews of a number of governance tools and try to organize. But mainly for me, even personally, it was these calls are a way to force myself to every epoch to come over, see what's on chain, see what's being voted on chain, and to start being more active or knowledgeable about that. So what brought you here was this initiative by Christina to do Treasury impact assessment, Treasury funding impact assessment, right? We have a document that was shared. I haven't looked at it. I'm not sure if if anyone wants to introduce the document, but I was hoping this call could serve as an asynchronous way that, for example, if you could present a bit what you're seeing here and how you've gone about using it, that could be shared with other people that are in the X chat that are volunteering to contribute. And that way, maybe we could foster that they engage more with the initiative. What do you think?
So I'm curious. The objective is to have a community-led volunteer group who will work through the current Treasury withdrawals have been approved and the milestones that they're currently under.
As far as I gather,
right?
Yeah.
And then the other part about that is that what is the intent going forward for the group? Is that more so to be at the stage of proposal when it goes out, outside of what constitutional committees are doing, DREPs are doing, having to do with reviewing the proposals? Is there some sort of like attempt to maybe create a recommendation based on the evaluation of each proposal and then socialize that in order to let people, educate them and understand what it is, and then maybe what would be good, maybe what would be bad about it? I'm just curious.
Yeah. B, do you have this kind of feedback, or I'm not sure how much you've engaged with the initiative so far?
I haven't engaged as much with the initiative. It's mostly just seeing the chat and how people have been interacting and just gathering more or getting more people into the group. So that's been my main role. Mostly, I try not to, because I'm sort of biased in some of these proposals because I'm a part of one of them. So I don't want to like put my opinion or give it too much weight.
Okay.
So you don't want to be that. You don't want to be hard on yourself. I understand.
Well,
oh no, I am hard on myself, but
no, I
don't want you guys to know that. God damn it.
just on the topic, Bia, I think that like everyone's involved. I used to work in Maestro, for example. I there's so many conflicts of interest here, or possible, arguable conflicts of interest, that I think that's a common situation for most of us, right? So if we're not mentioned in these proposals, we probably are going to be putting in proposals that are going to try to be funded, and so that's a conflict of interest in itself as well. So yeah, just welcome to the club, and
you.
don't yeah. um, so yeah, Christina texted me saying that she's going to be late to this call, or I'm not sure if she's even going to be able to make it. But from my side, I was, for example, this morning just doing milestone reviews. I have a number of ideas of how to go about this sort of initiative, but I never really put it together. And so that's why I'm trying to help Christina in creating spaces for this. Well, this space wasn't originally just for the impact assessment, but yeah, if hopefully we have more people coming around that have worked, have engaged with it, and could discuss the process, that would be great. Apart from that, I'm going to continue exploring that, what's been done and how I can help. One thing that I wanted to maybe bounce off you while we're here is like we have what Christina published on X and the document that's been shared there. You can see as well on X, on the chat, that everyone's exchanging Sunday Treasury investigation links that show all the traceability of things. And I wanted to share a bit of what I sketched up when I was still in the open source committee, attending the Intersect Steering Committee. And so I just want to contrast what we're doing, what Christina is starting with, this kind of framework. I'm not sure if you are familiar with these, because this is just the official type of thing. Or actually, this is my notes from going to the ISC calls and being frustrated because everyone was just talking and no one was formalizing it. So I opened up Miro, as I do, and I started putting this together. So do you know if this really came into effect, if this is still the framework that we have? There's vendors that put in proposals. They nominate a third-party assurer. There's a delivery assurance function at Intersect. And then apparently there's an oversight committee where committees were supposed to be a part of, but then weren't. So this part is gone. Is this something that you think we could ideate a bit and talk a bit about right
So
now?
I'm curious, the third party assurer. Um,
But
who are they
I'm just asking,
securing
do
or
you have
nominating?
background knowledge? I don't want to be,
No,
multiplying like misunderstandings that I may have in this diagram.
no.
So
I thought you had
this
this.
is quite outdated.
So this is not empirical. This particular the data here. So we're not
No,
going off of.
this is what I made a note of
Okay.
when the oversight committee was being spoken of being created into the Intersect Steering Committee.
Okay.
So it's
I
like it
see.
has 6 months. It's 6 months old or something.
Because this is
V,
the
do you
first
know
part.
anything about this?
I personally don't. So it's the first time I've heard a third party assurer. I haven't heard that. Maybe I've heard it
I
once,
think
essentially.
it was because they wanted because of like the conflict of interest and a lot of people being involved in a lot of the projects that were funded. They wanted a third party assurer, but I haven't been involved in the process itself
Mhm.
on that end.
Okay.
But if I don't have my note taker here, but if we maybe type up a few questions and then send them directly to Jack, he's more than happy to answer.
Send them
Um,
to who? Sorry.
Jack at Intersect,
Ah,
since they're the ones who are assuring most of this anyway. So
yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note to try to clarify what transparent process has been put in place. Obviously, I know that there's the dashboard, for example. This was at the time it was to be made, and now it's the tool that everyone uses to look into things. The Sunday swap link. Apart from that, yeah, I just wanted to make sure we have this picture updated. Yeah, if Intersect has put out some information. So I'm going to just copy these two and bring them over, and maybe we can move away from looking into this more today. I'm just going to bring it over here. So I created a section of my board for just for your side of things. I'm saying yours, I should say our side, because I volunteered also to help. So you could send it, click here. Okay. And maybe what we could do is look at the Google Doc, again, explore it together and see what we can understand of it. Do you agree? Yeah. So 38 projects, 5 completed. Not sure what this is. Average
Don't
of
mess with
Treasury.
formulas, man. It took me forever to get that shit. Don't mess with those.
I won't. I know how to touch these things without breaking them, usually. Okay. But welcome.
That's why I don't touch them. So, because I don't want to fuck people's
Dude,
shit up.
Lucas, I'm going to be honest. This was so hard to find. I didn't realize you have multiple 45B accounts on Luma. And yeah, this was really difficult.
I dropped the link
I have
on
the same
chat.
problem.
Yeah, no, I'm scrolling through different chats with everybody trying to find it, and it was
I dropped a
pain in the
reminder
butt.
on the chat. It was the link
Wow,
there.
I
I
feel
didn't
really
see
good. I
one.
just put
No,
mine
the
into my Google
problem
Calendar and
the
then jumped in. That was
so
super easy.
what happened was, for me, when I pressed the Luma link, I had to register, but it kept giving me errors that I was already registered. So then I
Yep.
couldn't find the link itself. But I found it because my phone notified me, because it was also registered on Google, that I was going to come here. So yeah, that's how I found the link.
I started
Next
looking
time-
through the timeline, and that's how I found other Luma links you'd done, and then I'm like, oh wait, 45B. There's 45B
doing-
events. There's
I'm doing like
45B
4 or 5 a week,
enablement.
like at
But you
least
all
3.
have different accounts. They're not hosted by the same account.
I have 3 Luma calendars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
well,
that's
next
because-
time you have the problem, just hit me up, send me a DM. I'll be in the meeting and I'll probably completely ignore you because I'm not looking at my DM. But I will be
That's
able
why
to
she
answer at
reached
some
out
point.
to me.
Yeah.
I was reaching out to a bunch of people trying to figure out how I could get in. I'm like, I want to be here. I just don't know how to. I don't have a link to click.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All
it's
right,
tricky.
cool. What did I
Okay.
miss?
Well,
Nothing. We just figured that Dennis
basically,
went horribly bad. So, but that's good. It didn't. So, yeah.
we've looked into a bit like how much we don't know about the official process, and I was sharing this. Sorry, I opened it on another tab. Do you know about these terms, delivery assurance function at Intersect and the oversight committee, Christina?
These are not new words, so I don't understand your question. Yes, I'm familiar with those words.
Okay, so for example, the oversight committee, when I sketched up this draft and diagram, it was spoken to be by the committees of Intersect, but now I think it's a list of different third-party assurers themselves or something like that. It's like all these yellow ones.
What are you
are
trying to
basically-
accomplish in this Miro board?
With this diagram, I'm trying to understand what we are complementing with the impact assessment initiative, because apparently there's
I'm
a
not
delivery
complimenting any of it. I don't give a shit about any of that. We have to do an assessment on those funded proposals. I'm not assessing the oversight committee or anything. We're focusing on the proposals, and some of
Yes.
it's going to leak into the other ones. But if you're looking to line this up somewhere there, that's all you.
No,
Have fun with that exercise.
I'm not going to plug anything into anything.
No,
I
I'm
was
saying if you're
just-
looking for a place where it lines up in this, then that's an
so for
exercise
example,
you can
these
do.
guys,
I
this
don't
whole
see it.
this whole framework is where they decided to do the dashboards that we keep using by Sunday.
No, those dashboards have nothing to do with us. Those dashboards are actually purely for the oversight committee.
Exactly. So that's
So
what I'm saying. The oversight committee, yeah, the Sunday dashboards are done by these guys. That's why I was
No.
just trying to get some context from here, but we can ignore it if you prefer.
I don't understand. So, yeah, I don't understand. I'm just going to
Let's leave it.
observe.
No.
You do your thing. I'm going to observe.
I'm facilitating space for you guys to meet and for me to join your group, your initiative, whether on these calls or on other calls that we organize. I just wanted to. I felt like asking the question if we know these things are working, but yeah, let's move away from that. Could you give us an intro to the Google Sheet? Like as a what I think this is what I was saying to Bia and Blockchuck before you joined. Ideally, with this call, we'll be able to
Are you
clip
talking to
a
me?
bit. Yes, Christina.
Oh, what do you want me to introduce?
Yes, De Niro.
So for example, when I got here and me, Blockchuck and B were looking at this and saying, oh, I haven't really engaged with the document. I haven't picked it up so to look for one
Oh
of
yeah, I
these.
don't think anybody
and-
else is engaged with this document.
So what we could do is record a quick thing that introduces them to it in a video format, so that we can share and maybe help them engage a bit more, at least from watching it, and maybe encourage other people to start picking it up. What do you think?
I don't think it would be wise to give everybody everywhere access to this link, because somebody's gonna just screw it all up and delete it or something. So I'm not sure how you're envisioning opening this up to everybody. Can you share a little more about that?
This link, I have it on screen because you shared it in the chat for
Yeah,
the
it was
people
just
that
for the
have
people who
signed up.
said they wanted to participate.
That's what I
But
mean. It's for those
okay.
people that I'm talking about, recording something, shared privately with them. We can even make it a Google file that I need to approve or that you need to approve whenever anyone asks to watch that video. Is that okay for you to moderate access to this introduction? Because otherwise, if you don't want to share it, we don't need to share it
I do
either.
not wish to share this with
With
everybody
the team.
publicly. It's already shared with anybody that's in that Twitter chat. If somebody else wants to help, that's fine with adding people to it, but I don't want to make it open to the whole public. So I'm not sure what you mean.
I
With
never
the team,
suggested
they
the
already
whole
have
public.
access to it. Okay, I'm
What
go
I'm
on. Just go on.
suggesting, so for example, me, Blockchuck and B, we're all in that chat, and we're looking at this document now, and we don't really, we've never really navigated it, and we're asking you to
I'm
give us an introduction that we are here, three of us, and I was saying the
all right.
introduction.
Well, hang on, and
and
I'll open it and I'll just go through it with you if that's what you mean. I don't really know what you're talking about. You're wanting to do something formal and recorded, and I'm not prepared for that. But I'm happy to answer questions for you guys and walk through it. So hang on, let me open it up real quick.
Okay, let's take it.
So if we look at the top, where do you want me to start?
You're watching my
Um,
screen?
I'm kind of ignoring your screen because it's really small. But
Okay.
I've got the spreadsheet open on my screen. So if we look at the top, I added business name because some of them I might have changed a bit. Like I know Midgard is like Anastasia Labs or something, so I just threw that in there. But the project, the vendor address, the budget, all that was a direct pull from the Sunday Swap site. And then I manually clicked on each and every proposal there to see what stage it was at. Is this like what you want me to show you? I mean,
yes.
can I
Yeah.
steer? Would you mind?
Yes, please share your screen.
Right,
That would be great, because that way we're all in sync.
Yeah, let me get it all separate now. Okay, so let me go and open up one of those. So if you look at this one, the way to tell the status would be looking at status and evidence and going down to the last submitted one. So that is where they're actually at. Submitted means they literally submitted evidence. and you'd look at the date. And so that's how you can tell, you deduce that this one is on schedule. And that's what pretty much all of them require, is just a little bit of looking to make that deduction. Timeline health on this one, I went with, well, there's a whole thing over here that kind of explains everything. I feel like the milestones on this one were submitted on time. If you look every month, they were always in schedule there. What is the other one? Milestone quality for this, I was a lot of the times just looking at the ecclesia proposal compared to what was finalized on Sunday. And the ecclesia proposals usually didn't have milestones or anything. A lot of times they were very lofty things where people are like, we're going to build a thing. Yay, it'll be great. And then when they come over to the Sunday side, they actually had to have milestones. So in most cases, it was a huge improvement from nothing to something. But I also wanted to pay attention to make sure that along the way we didn't lose something, like something in ecclesia. They were like, oh, well, we're going to do this. We're going to be, such and such by this date, or we're going to have something. I wanted to make sure that was carried over. So that's what that one was for. The verifiability is, am I actually able to verify what they said they did? With AdaStat, you can't, because everything's closed source. And if you look at their milestones, I kind of had a little bit of an issue with their milestones, and I mentioned this one to Jack as room for improvement. Every single milestone is exactly the same. The only thing they change are the words, the number milestone and the month. So if you look down, every single one, it's an exact replica, because they don't actually put real information. Their proposal was for maintenance for a year. And I think the message back to both Intersect and to AdaStat should be, well, talk to us about what you did, because you're doing maintenance, you're doing some work. Maybe you upgraded Plutus, V3, whatever. I don't know, whatever you're doing, but you should be able to list something in there about what you actually did. Another thing I found with AdaStat is when we were looking at, like ecosystem impact and stuff like that, because everything's closed source and they're not sharing KPIs, I found that difficult. So you'll see like the scores are all kind of mid to low. The inability to verify the work that they said they did. They said they did maintenance, we don't know what. The inability to check any of the metrics they said, because they said, oh yeah, we have like 50,000 users to our site every month, but they don't provide you with even a screenshot of a metric. I went to a third-party site called SimilarWeb, and you can get metrics from them, publicly available metrics. So that's how I was able to verify. I know that they have more impact than I can prove. I can't prove any of it, so it's all very middle to me. The transparency in the comms, again, that would be like, are you communicating effectively, promoting the work that you're doing? They're very active on Twitter, but I didn't feel they actually were promoting any maintenance or anything about themselves. They're just very active Twitter account. So this was kind of how all those were panning out right there. We couldn't really assess the work. We couldn't look at any like KPIs. There's no way to measure its usage for it versus like other explorers and stuff. So that was why their score came down to a 16. When we're looking at like all these different aspects, they're all kind of affected by the same thing of not sharing enough information. So I don't think they're doing a bad job. I just think there is room for improvement to communicate it better.
Yeah. So the main notes I'm making is milestone documents have zero actual like criteria and deliverables.
Oh
And
yeah, like if you
most
want to
of the
look at them,
things
we
have
can
no
pull
way
a
to
couple of
measure
them
them.
up. So let's pull
Because
August.
one thing would be that they're not putting the measurements in anywhere or criterias.
No.
We
So
don't
if
even
you
know
look,
what to measure.
here's where they say criteria are met, and they're just like, the evidence is our website. Okay. Telegram bot, the evidence is the link to the bot. That doesn't give you that any operations. There's no metrics there, right? Like I would expect to see, even at a minimal, a cacti graph, something showing
Mhm.
something.
But
But so if
they
we
do
look at
have a
this one,
section there that's supposed to be criteria. It's just not filled in a way that's
it's the
valuable,
same. So look right here. This is
right?
just look at this at a glance, and we're just going to flip over to the next one. And at a
Mhm.
glance, it's exactly the same. At a glance, it's exactly the same. And if you
Yeah.
actually read through, all these words are the same.
Yeah.
So I feel like my feedback to Jack was somebody on your team's doing a shitty job of reviewing the evidence, because I'm the one who picked up right away looking at it that they're just regurgitating the same information, and literally just changing the date on it. So I gave that feedback back. All right, I provided that feedback to Jack, and we'll kind of see how it goes. There's just, I have nothing against AdaStat. I use it too. I just think we could improve some of this with like better communication, better documents. And this is something that Intersect could be requesting of people
Yeah.
or requiring, whatever.
Okay.
What else?
Maybe
You
I
want me
think
to
we're
go
going to
through
learn a
another
lot.
one, or?
Yeah, I think we're going to learn a lot by going through a number of them. So if you want to just highlight a couple more,
Sure.
that could be great.
Let's see. All right. So if we look at Bloxbean, which I was not familiar with, but essentially it's Java stuff.
Which one is that? Block one?
Bloxbean.
I have no
Right there.
idea. Did that come
So
from?
Java.
Okay.
So if we look at them, so first off, I'm not counting this line against anybody because I don't know. It was their kickoff and stuff for everybody. So most of them say that the kickoff evidence was past due. So just to be clear, I wasn't faulting that against anybody. I kind of wonder if that was just a process issue, similar to like what I would see with Catalyst, where it'd be like, okay, yeah, we're all going to start on, the first of this month. And then you're debating with them so much, you actually end up starting like 6 weeks later. So just to be clear, I'm not holding that one against anybody. So when we looked at them, so the milestones are on time. Ecclesia had parts about implementing new features based off of user feedback and ongoing support via GitHub discussions, but I can't find these. So with this one, I probably should have put a link to their GitHub. Yeah. Yeah. So they're also not very far in their process either, are they? Oh, they did submit a March one. That's new. So when I was reviewing it, they only had this one right here. And you can just kind of see my feedback there. So milestone quality, if there was stuff that was said in Ecclesia that I couldn't find in the milestones for the Sunday, I gave it a slightly lower score because I don't feel like it carried over well. Again, that part about the user feedback and ongoing support. Let's pull up their. Yeah. So that was the part that I saw that I couldn't find replicated. And that just kind of bothered me. When I looked them up on GitHub, I wasn't finding, they didn't even have discussions as a thing that was enabled, which is you do have to enable it. Let's see if we can get it here.
And these PDFs you're looking at now, where
Mhm.
did you get those?
They're in the Sunday swap. You just have to
Okay,
click
it's in the
them.
platform. Okay.
Let's get you. And which project was this one? All right, so the Yasi Store one was using it. They have it enabled. There's no discussions. This started almost 3 years ago. So I just feel like this was a component that they weren't really utilizing. And I think they could do a slightly better job on that if they're going to be requesting feedback from people. I would like to see it somewhere, just because, again, it was one of those 5 things they had listed there.
A lot of what you're touching on, or a lot of the things we're going over, remind me of what's happening with catalyst reviews. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you guys have done those as a milestone reviewer as well. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the proposer side.
Oh no, I've done it. It's just not much fun.
Yeah. And B, I'm not sure if you're okay to talk.
Yeah, no, I tried to consider doing that, and then I saw how much work was required, and I decided, you know what? It's not for me.
Okay. I tried, that was me in Fund 11. And after like copying things and showing the resubmissions, the tooling just wasn't working for me. And that was enough to just go out of the idea. But for 14, I've been doing it for 4 projects, or I think about that. I just spent 3 hours this morning working on one. It's really
Yeah.
tricky because they put you in a situation, and that's what I'm getting to, where they are delivering not the minimum path, they're delivering the critically like basic path. And if you ask for the minimum, you always feel like they've already got funding. The catalyst team actually just tells you that you should be reviewing those things in 3 days, and that's it, which we don't have here. We have we can do greenfield thing. But yeah, in the end, I think, Christina, I'm not sure what outputs you're envisioning, and that was what BlockChalk was asking out of your initiative. It's basically just to give feedback to Intersect, right? Or
No, it's to give feedback to the community,
okay,
which would include Intersect and the proposers. And we can talk to Intersect and the proposers in advance of conclusion. So no issues there. I don't know that there's going to be like, I don't know what we're going to do with this at this point, because I appreciate that more people were interested than had time to participate. And then there's a sentiment that I am somehow doing something devious with this. I don't know how much further this is going to go, honestly.
okay. Well,
I think I would say like
Yeah, it's just
I
been me
wouldn't
and
say
Eddie.
that.
Are.
No, I don't think it's the fact that you're being devious. I think it's just that a lot of people didn't have the time to think about it until, oh shit, now people are asking for more money. Is anybody actually like checking this stuff? And then
No,
like
no, it was
this
actual stuff
weird,
about me, saying that
oh,
I started this process to manipulate people.
just,
you're always going to get crazy people saying crazy stuff.
So I
But
know,
fair
but if
enough.
I'm the only one doing it and it's just got my name on it, and bless Eddie for his one, I super appreciate his efforts there, because he was super nervous about it and he did a great job. But if it's just got my name on it and I have this reputation, then nobody's gonna care. They're just not even gonna look at it, or they're just gonna rip it apart and just be like, oh, look what she did. She's just saying bad things about everybody.
And then the
think
same person or somebody can say the exact same thing the day after. It's like, this is the most genius thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's very, very important. I've mentioned this to you in the M's, Christina. If you're not doing it, someone should do it. If you want to just park it, share what you've done, and I think that was the goal, like you're saying, and let others
My
pick up
goal
the
was to
slack.
try and get people to participate. I thought people would do it as well.
Yeah.
That was
But
my
we
goal.
need, from my point of view, we need moments like this so we can get Bia and BlockChalk more involved, or whoever comes. What I was suggesting is that we clip some interesting parts of this and share it in the chat for those that are meaning to participate but haven't been able to. If maybe they watch a few seconds of this, they'll be more challenged to participate. Still, about like abandoning it or something. I just, yeah, I don't think
Even if I stopped where I was at right now, I still have feedback that's relevant, like the
Mhm.
stuff I shared with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not a complete bust. It's just if anybody will even listen to it.
I'm all for giving feedback to the community, and as well, not just raising awareness of the people that are in the chat that have signed up, but everyone in the community. I think that's already quite relevant.
Well, that's the purpose,
Yeah.
is awareness, obviously.
Yeah.
But well, yeah.
Okay. So I have some notes. I'm not sure where we can take it next. From my part,
If you have questions, I can answer them.
well, my questions would be from the point of view of, okay, now let me at least pick one up and try to research that one. Do you have one that you want to assign to me, for example, or maybe I could double something that you've done, and maybe we can compare what we got to. If you want reinforcement on some of them, or to me to reach one that you haven't reached, what do you prefer?
I mean, you're volunteering, so you can do whichever way you like. I would like to see more proposals get assessed, but if you want to go over mine and see what your scores are compared to mine, you can do that. I mean, whichever way you want.
Okay, I'll prioritize what you said, new ones. Can we scroll down and just maybe pick one for me and take it from there? I
You
realize I
can
have
go
my
ahead and
face
share.
inside the camera.
You can go ahead
Sorry.
and share if you wanted to pick one and go
Yes.
through it.
Okay, let's do that. Just showing some windows here. Okay. And so you've done the stages for everything, and then the rest of it is what this part being blank here is my indicator that I could pick up these, right? Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah, and if it doesn't have a reviewer assigned, which is column O, just off the screen I can see, then it's
Oh, but
available.
let me make this a bit bigger for you as well. I think this should work. Is it readable now? Or do you want more?
I still don't see column O. You keep
Oh,
zipping past it. Yeah. So
yeah.
anything there that doesn't have a name, those are the ones that are available.
Okay. TX Pipe caught my eye just because I sort of know what they're doing. And you mentioned this here, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to
I don't want to
take
do TX Pipe because we partner with them on another project they have, and I
Yeah.
just don't want anybody to think I have a conflict.
Okay, so I'll take over this one. Like I said, because I know at least what they do, unlike the Java guys that you were showing before. And I don't want to overcommit because I'm so swamped. And so let's this is my only action for now, to take this one from top to bottom and chase the breadcrumbs where I can. Follow,
So what I would recommend, if you're going to work on that, get the link from the Sunday site and get the link from the Ecclesia site. The Ecclesia site will have a lot more other links in it too, so that one's super helpful.
Okay.
And those will be the big ones that you'll be using right off the bat.
Okay, making note. And I'll find
That would usually be how I'd start my process. I'd pick a project, I'd open a tab, I'd find it on Sunday, and then I'd open a tab and I'd find it on Ecclesia, and then I would start just going down, column F, column G, timeline health. I'm looking at Sunday. I'm looking like I showed you where I'm trying to figure out where they're at there.
Okay.
It's kind of awful that we can't just see at a glance a status on any of the projects, and I've communicated that a bit.
Yeah, but that's the typical thing in like, you have golf tools, for example, and we kept going back there and saying, could you make this a grid instead of cards? And they say yes, yes, but they don't change it. So with Sunday, maybe it's different if you give the feedback directly to Sunday. But in terms
Sunday,
of,
the site wasn't intended for us, so I don't think they're going to make a different site.
really,
Yeah, and there
and
was a team that was supposed to do it. It was Zerberus.
exactly, yeah.
But their site it's often inaccurate, the information it provides. So yeah, we don't use that either.
Yeah,
There's no
I
site.
know. I don't think it's any surprise. The Ecclesia was not 100% to be that either, or at least their long-term strategy is also looking into the bigger world, not just Cardano. Okay, so get the Sunday and Ecclesia links. Look at the PDFs and then all that thing, and check here. Everything is self-explanatory.
And you
For
can also
these,
click on that summary tab. And that summary tab kind of gave
yeah.
you, some questions I was asking as I was looking at each of those columns. Are the milestones on time? Do they reflect real deliverables compared to the Ecclesia proposal? So if you're kind of lost as you're looking at it, you can refer back here because it was supposed to be a little helpful.
So, but this is evaluating, for example, the overall website, right? It's not for a specific proposal.
It is for the question that you're looking at, are milestones on time, is to answer the question about timeline health. Do you see that?
Overall.
Yes, for
Okay.
where it's at.
Okay.
It's current. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone else that has like gone back and forth with you on the working on the document?
I
Or is
helped
it really
Eddie do
just-
it.
Okay.
I answered his questions in a chat. That was it.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I'm
Who
not
is
sure.
this Eddie? It's
Decentralized Eddie.
I repeat my question. Who is this
That's all I
decentralized
got.
Eddie?
Okay, so it's someone who's in the chat, right? I'm just gonna try to open his profile. At least we can
Yeah.
have.
Sure,
Yeah.
thank you.
He comes in a lot of spaces, and I forget who he works for. Maybe it's Palmara.
Okay. Yeah, I'll chase him and make sure I think we need to like. I was already imagining this was going to happen. Like 20 or 30 people say they're interested, they're in the loop, but then just a small
I was
fraction of them actually.
expecting maybe I'd get like 3 or 4 people to help.
Yeah.
That was my honest expectation. So I was a little off.
There's Quasar here making a lot of noise as usual.
I
think he's
know,
not going
but
to
the
be
thing
offended
is
if I
he's
say
not
it like that.
putting anything in the spreadsheet, so I don't know what
Yeah,
he's
I
done
saw
or
he was doing
anything.
YouTube and stuff.
Yes, and I can't. I'm not watching
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, but people.
Please don't do that to me.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I found him. 1 second. And he's done like 1 or 2, or
No, literally one. He's the
okay.
only person who's done any other ones than me, and he did the one. And he was nervous about it because he's never done anything like this before, but I think he did a fairly good job.
Well, that's the thing. At least he started
He tried,
something.
right?
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, I'm like, I think we're just on the hour. I actually need to run in a bit, but just to come back to the initial discussion that we were having. Usually, this whole call that I do, like the 45B governance and funding calls and check-ins, they're published entirely to YouTube. If you don't want any of this there, I'm happy to remove it from the call and just do the regular thing that I did, catching up with governance actions that are on chain, and that's it. And
I don't
but
think
what I would do,
anything's confidential, so you can. I'm fine. If the
well,
rest
but
of you guys are
let me
fine.
just show you the other side. what I do think is important is to, for the bit of knowledge and visual like invitation to look into this that we've done, to clip a bit of it and to share it with the group, because that's actually more useful than to share the whole thing, because it's very messy and we went back and forth. But I'm going to, or maybe just record it from my voice in 2 minutes, saying, guys, there's this document here, you should do this, you should do that. Have a look, pick it up, pick one up and do it. You know, do you think I can do that?
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do that part, and hopefully we'll get some more people working on it. And in terms of points of contact and all that, the chat is it. But I'm also going to say, feel free to DM if I can help somehow directly on one-on-ones or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think any of us would be happy to help somebody if they had questions.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do that instead of editing
And
video,
again,
which is
my whole thing
usually
with this is I don't want us to be, we're not shaming anybody. I'm not shaming Intersect. I'm not shaming these proposals. This is the first time that Cardano's done this. I know we have experience with Catalyst, but we did do this pretty differently. And
Mhm.
I do think this is the right opportunity to just kind of take an assessment, because is there ways we can improve this? And that's really what I'm looking at with it. So that's, I want that to be like the undertone vibe. As again, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just trying to call attention to places that we can improve. And when we see the problem persist across multiple projects, then we really know that that's something we've got to work on.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
It's
Appreciate your
yeah.
effort, sir.
Okay. Aomi, thanks for coming by as well. I'm going to be here every Monday at 3:30 UTC, and we can set up any other calls anytime about this task force. Let's take it from there. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You
Good luck
too.
with Friday the
You
13th.
too.
We're almost through it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.